Welcome to MacroCode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So today we are going to proceed with the employees management system. As you can see, we have our system here where we have our module for HR and payroll. So under HR and payroll, we have the employees list. We also have the holidays. So these, you can actually create a new holiday where you specify the title, the start date, end date, and the description. Also on the employees list, you can capture a new employee. Then you have the employee number, the first name, the middle name, the last name, the date of birth, the employment date, the bank account number, the terms of employment, and even the employee photo. So you can actually upload a photo for a particular employee. Then you have the leave types. You can have the leave types. You can have the leave applications. You also have the approved leave, and you can have the rejected leave application. So when you create a leave application, you can actually approve or reject a leave application. So you can see you can tie a leave to an employee, the number of leave days, the start date, end date, the leave duration, whether it is a full day or a half day, and the leave type, whether it is a maternity, sick leave, or casual leave. Then under system security, we have system users where you can record all the system users. You can capture the system roles. And for these particular roles, you can also assign rights for each of that role. So you can see we have the module, the submodule, and the actions. So these actions are what can be performed by the users. So if you see, we also have the system audit logs. So for anything that we perform within our system, you're able to see all these actions. So you'll be able to see, for example, under update, you'll see the audit type is update, the table name is leave type, the date time when this was done, and the old values. Because it was an update, you are tracking the old values and actually checking the new values that were inserted and the affected columns. So today I'm going to do something interesting. So I want us to modify some things on our employees. So on our employee model, I want us to go and modify one thing. So we are going to check something on leave. So I want us to track the leave applications that are being done by the employees. And the one way that we need to do this is we need to actually keep tabs of the balances of leave. And one thing is I want us to introduce two fields in our employees model. So I've just gone to our employees model, as you can see. And on this, so this is our employees model. So on this employee model, I want us to introduce two fields. So these two fields, one will be the allocated. So here we'll say allocated leave days. And here I'll want this to be decimal. So I'll just say decimal. Then the next thing is I want us to also have the leave outstanding balance. So leave outstanding. So you'll say leave outstanding balance. So this one should also be decimal. So these two fields, I want us to help us track the leave balances. So here we can actually annotate, and we can say here display name. Then we can say, so this will be equals to. So we'll have our leave balances. So we'll say allocated leave balance. Then if we have the allocated leave balance, so here we can just do, so let's just do this. It should be that way. Then we need to have here, this will be our leave outstanding balance. So these are the leave balances that are still pending for that particular kind of employee. So you'll say leave outstanding balance. So I want us to run our migrations. So I want us to add our migrations within our application. So I'll just go to Tools, NuGet Package Manager Console. Then I want us to do add migrations. So I'll just do add migrations. Then I'll say leave balances. So I'll just say leave balances. So if we add migration, then our application will be able to add for us these two columns. So those two columns, we are not going to insert them when we are creating an employee. So I'm going to show you what will happen. So one thing that we need to be aware is the leave adjustments, whether they are positive or negative adjustments, needs to be done by the HR manager. So the HR manager will be the one updating the employees' leaves. So for example, as you can see, our file as is okay. Let's check. I think our file has been generated. You can see the allocated leave days. The table is employees, and we are adding these new columns. So I want us to update our database. So I'm going to update our database. So I'll say update database. So it will introduce these two columns on our employee table. So when we run update database, it will introduce the allocated leave days and the leave outstanding balance. So those two will be added to our employee table. Now these two fields will be updated by, when you apply, these two fields will be updated by the HR and when you apply leave applications. So what needs to happen, we are not going to introduce those two fields to our create page. So when you go to leave, that is employees under create, we are not going to introduce those two fields here. So what we are going to do, let me just also try to annotate our Razor page. So I'm going here, then I'm going to, let's just put in this display for some of the fields that we added on our previous video. So if you're new to this channel and you've just seen this video, please consider subscribing. We noted some of you guys are watching our videos and you've not subscribed. Please consider subscribing. So we have employment date. So we'll say employment date. Then we'll have the other thing here is we have the bank. So I'm going to introduce here, I'll say bank name. So this is bank name. Then I'm going to have here, I'll say the bank account number. So I'm just trying to have, so IBAN is international bank account number. So international bank account number. So then I'm also going to add the SWIFT code. I'll just do here SWIFT code. So these are the fields that we added on our previous video. So if you're following this series, you can also update those columns. Then I'm also going to add NSSF. So I'll say NSSF number. Then I'm going to update this. So I'm going to add here, I'll just have these as NHIF. So I'll just do NHIF number. Then I'll also have a company email address. So here will be company email address. Then you have KRA pin. So I'll just have these as KRA pin. Then I'll also add a passport. I'll say this is passport number. So if you do that, then you can, here we can also say employment terms, whether it is permanent or a contract. I'll just say employment for these employment terms. So after doing that, you see our two fields are here. So the next thing that I want us to do, if we just launch our application, we should not be able to preview those two fields. So how are we going to update the employees' leave balances? So these leave balances is actually a mandate for a human resource manager. Once every particular financial year, the HR should inject the number of leave days that are supposed to be assigned to every employee. And this sometimes can be a setup, so that system in background will, every financial year, it will actually be adding new employees. That is the employees, the number of days that they have. And others actually, the system automatically accrues them each day. So if I just go to employees list and I add new employee, I should not be able to have those two fields. So you see now these are international bank account number and SSF number we've just annotated, and you are able to have these details here. So what I want us to do now, I want us under HR functions, I want us to introduce something called leave adjustments. So I want us to introduce something called leave adjustments. But before we introduce that thing called leave adjustments, I want us to add another model. So I want us to add another model here, and I want us to call that particular model, I want us to call it leave adjustments entry. So I'll just call it leave adjustment entry. So if we do that, we are going to have, so I'll just define some properties here. So I'll say public int, then I'll just do ID. Then I am going also to have in this leave adjustment. So these, what are these table for? So this table, I want us to be tracking the leave adjustments that are done by either the system or the HR, and the applications that are being done by the employees. So if you apply a leave, it will actually hit this table and deduct the number of leave days that you have taken. So for example, so for here, one thing is we need is one is the, so I'll just do string, I'll just do int, then this will be employee number. So I'll just do employee ID. This is a foreign key. Each employee should be tied to this. So I'll also have here, so this will be employee, then here I'll just do employee. So this one, we should be able to track the leaves that has been either positively adjusted or negatively adjusted by the employee or the HR for any particular kind of employee. So the next field that I want us to do is, I want us to provide here is the number of days. So what is the number of days that you are talking about? And this can be decimal. So I'll just do here decimal, and I'll do number of days. I'll do number of days. Then I also want here to be, the next thing is the leave period. So I'll just do here leave period. So this can be financial years. So I'll just do here leave period. So this one I'll do, so this one can be string, and this will be leave period. And we'll be able to check this because we need actually in our system to have financial years. So that is what we are going to cover in our next video. So I'll just say leave period. Then the next thing that I want us to do is to add the leave approval date. So we'll say leave, we can say leave adjustment date. So this will be the date that that leave was adjusted. So I'll just do here date. Then I also want to add something, another thing is the start date. So you can have the leave start date. So this leave start date will be either the time the leave is starting or when the leave, so I'll just leave start date. Then I'll add here leave end date. So this will be leave end date. Then I'll also want to have here the leave. So I'll also want to have the leave description. So I'll say adjustment description. So I'll say adjustment. So this will be string. So I'll want here to be adjustment description. So here we'll call this adjustment description. Then I want us also to have something here. So I want us to have the adjustment type. So I'm going to have something, another thing called adjustment type. So this adjustment type can be positive or negative. So I want us to do here adjustment type ID. Then I want us to get this from the system code detail. So I'm going to get it from the system code detail, and I'll do here adjustment. So if we have that, Now we have our ID, the leave period, the employee ID, the number of days, the leave adjustment date, the leave start date, the leave end date, and the adjustment. So the leave start date and end date can be nullable here. So I want us to have this nullable, and I want this to be adjustment description. Then the leave type here, that is okay. So the other one should not be nullable. So if we do that, the reason as to why I've done this as nullable, when we are doing a positive adjustment by the HR, we should not be specifying the leave start date and the end date. But if an employee applies for a leave, we will be actually inserting this data based on the employee date, that is the leave date that they've chosen, and the number of days. Then we will be able to get the leave end date. So if we do that, let me just now go to our application DB context. So I'm going to our application DB context. So let's just go there. So where is it? Here. Then I'm going to add this table. So I'm going to do public DB set. Then I'm going to insert this. Then you can have leave entries. So I'm going to call these leave entries, leave adjustment entries. And after we are done with that, the next thing is we need to do is to add migrations. So I'll just do that. Then I'm going to clear this. Then I can do add migrations. Then I can say leave adjustments. So if we press enter, our file should be generated called leave adjustments. So if you're new to this channel and you are following this video series, remember to subscribe, like our videos, and comment down below. So as you can see, our file has been generated with some warnings there, but I'm going to update our database. So I'll say update database. So we should now be able to have that new. We should now be able to have new table called leave adjustments. So if we do that, I'm going now to, so there we go. So you see our table has been created, and these are the commands. So if I just zoom it, so you'll see these are the commands. So this is the create table with all these fields. So what I'm going to do now is I want us to do something. Even without doing anything, I want us to come to our application. When we apply for new leave application, so where is it? Here, under new leave application. So when we click apply for new leave application, we should actually, so let me just, so there we go. So if we click for, let me just launch our application so that we see what is happening. So when someone applies for a leave application, we should deduct that leave application only when the approver has approved the leave application. So let's just see what will happen. So I'm going to do that. Then log into my application. Then I'm going to do here employees list. So if I open my database, I want us to see something. So then let me just apply for a leave. So I'm going to create a new leave application, and I'm going to do here, choose year 2. Then I can have year date, can have year end date. But this one will be validating to ensure that the leave days and the start date will give us the end date. So we will be validating this, and no one should be able to key in. So I'll just do that. Then I can save my leave application. So if I save my leave application, you will see that we have the employee, the number of leave that he has applied, the number of days, that is the start date, end date, the duration and the leave type, then the attachment. Then here we have actions. So we have the action to approve and reject. So what I want us to do, let's just go to our database. So I'm going to connect these to our database, and then we can see how our table now looks. So I'm going to employees. Then under employees table, we are going to see that we have now the additional fields. So if I go here, we have the new fields that we've just added, the allocated leave days and the leave outstanding balance. So if I just do that, I'm going to update all the staff. So update employees. So I'm going to just update all our employees. We set allocated leave days. So I want to give them 30 days for all our employees. So if we just check now, our employees will have allocated leave days should be 30. You see, it is now 30 days. So what should happen? But this adjustment should be done by the HR. So we are going to see how we are going to do that. So currently I've just done it manually. So what happens when someone applies for leave? You see here, when someone applies for this leave and we approve, we should actually track the leave days in our leave adjustment entries here. So if you open this table, you should see we have the leave period, employee ID, the number of days, the leave adjustment date, the start date, end date, adjustment description, and the adjustment type. So one thing that we need to do before doing anything is let's go to system codes. We need to add our adjustment type. So I'm going to say our system code is the leave adjustment, and my description will be leave adjustment. Then if I create that, then I'm going to leave that is the system code details, and I'm going to select my leave adjustment. I'll say the code is positive. So we have the positive adjustment and we have the negative adjustment. So I'm going to add another one, leave adjustment, then I can say negative. Then this will be our negative adjustment, and this will be the third one. So that is the only two leave adjustments that we have. So we have the leave adjustment positive and negative. So what I want us to do now, we have our leave period, employee, number of days, and that. So whenever we approve a leave here, if we come to leave approvals, whenever we approve leave here, we should be able to load this entry to our leave adjustment entries here so that you're able to track. So once we do that, so let's just go to our approval action. So if we go to leave under controllers, then you can actually see the actions that are there. So we are going to approve leave, which is the post method. So this is one. So we are going to approve leave. So when we approve leave, after approving leave, so actually here we can check the user ID. Instead of add coding macro code here, we can add the user ID. Then after saving that change, if everything goes well, I want us now to load some data to our application. So I want us to do one is I want us to do, can say variable new, can say variable adjustment, can say adjustment equals to new leave adjustment. Then for this new adjustment, I want us to now do something here. So I want us to first take the employee ID. So, and the employee ID, we can get it from our model, this one. Then we can also do what other thing, number of days. We can get it from our model as well. We are also taking the start date, leave start date. We can also get it from our model. Then the leave end date, we can also get it from our model. Then the leave, so what other thing can we say? Description. So the adjustment description. So this is someone has applied for leave. So we are going to have a description called, we can say leave taken, and we can do negative adjustment. So you can do negative adjustment. So which other field do we need in this table? The leave period. So for the leave period, I can do, for now, I'll just put in a code, but we will be able to do this when we have our financial years. So I'll just do here, can say year 2024. So that is the leave period. Then I can also do another thing here, which is we have the leave employee number of days, leave adjustment date. We have to get the leave adjustment date. When was this done? When it is approved, then the leave adjustment will take effect. So it is now. So I'll just take now. So if we do that, the next thing is I want us to have, so we have the leave start date, leave end date, adjustment date, then we have the adjustment type ID. So that is what we need. So the adjustment type ID, I'm going to use the same thing that we did here. To get the adjustment type ID, I'm going to have this, and I'm going to say, I think it is always best to use the one dot per line rule, I mean. So I'm going to do that. Then you see it looks a bit better. Then here I can say adjust type, adjustment type, apply the one dot per line rule. Then I'm going to do that as well so that you are able to see what is happening. Then here you see now this is more clear. So I can actually do here leave adjustment. Then here I can say positive. So I need actually the negative leave adjust. So I can say negative, and I want to get the ID. So these will give me the ID. So I'm going here, then I'll just do leave adjustment type. Then I'm going to say it's adjustment type dot ID. So if I do that, then I'm going to close that. So this will be that way, and I'm going to close this here. So this one will give me now all my fields. So all my fields are there. We have the leave period, employee, number of days, leave adjustment, start date, end date, adjustment description. You see adjustment description, leave period, leave adjustment date, leave type. So after doing that, the next thing to do is we need to insert that record. So I'm going to just do here, add. So I'll just copy this here, and I'll do context.add. Then I'm going to say add the adjustment. Then I'm going to save the changes. So the changes for the person who is saving is actually the employee. And you see, this record will now be saved. So let's just launch our application and we approve that leave. So if we approve that leave, we'll be able to track the number of days. But now, before even doing that, we missed something. So if we do this, if our leave application is, if we log this one, so it has launched. So let's just stop it. So the next thing that we need to do, once our leave application has been logged, that means we need also to update our employee. So to do that, I'm going here and do, I'll just take here, I'll say variable employee. Then we say await, then underscore context dot, I'll say underscore context. So I'm going to do here underscore context. Then we say dot employees. Then can say first or default, and we can pass the employee dot, can say find first, find. Yeah, can say find async. Then I'm going to pass the leave application, this one, the leave application, then dot employee ID. Sorry. So if I just, let me just close this a bit. So here I'll do employee ID, then it will give me the employee. So after doing that, I can now say employee dot allocated leave days. I don't want to touch the allocated leave days. I can just leave it because that is the days that they were allocated. Then I'm going to take the leave balance, leave outstanding balance. So leave outstanding balance will be, so I'm going to take the employee allocated leave days minus the adjustment. So here will be the leave dot number of days. So if we do that, this will give me my number of my leave outstanding balance. Then I can also update then I'll just do add. Here now will be update. So if I do that and I have my employee and I save my employee changes. So if I do that, I'll be updating my employee. But you see, these transactions are too many. So we'll be actually looking forward to see how we can make this better. So for now, let's just do that. So this one will now give me my number of days. So if I do that, this will be my outstanding balance will be the allocated leave days minus the number of leave days that they have taken. Then we update the employee. So let's just launch our application and we see what will happen. So currently all our employees have a total number of leave days, which is actually 30. So if we just do that, you see these are 30 and these are their leave outstanding balances. You see it is null currently. So if we just log into our application, I'm going to do that, then sign in. So if you have any best way to do it, guys, you can comment down below because we are actually learning together. So I'll just do leave applications and you see we now have our leave applications here. So I'm going to do approve. So if I click approve, it will give me this option to provide comments. So I'll say approved. So this is now the supervisor. So if I click approve my leave application, you see it has been approved. And if we go to our approved leave applications, we have the approved leave application here that we've just done. So let's now go to our database and see the magics. So on our employees table, we should be able to see that here we have the allocated leave days as 30, but the leave outstanding balance is 27. That means we applied for 3 days. You see, these are the 3 days. But we need also to see what are the entries. So if we go to leave adjustments entries, we should have an entry here. You see, we have the leave period 2024, the employee ID, the number of days that they applied, the leave adjustment date, the leave start date, the leave end date, the leave adjustment description, and the adjustment type. So every time someone applies for leave, so let's just apply for another one. Leave application, new. We do here we can choose another employee. We apply 5. So we do that. We do that. Can do that. We'll actually be adding attachment here. So if we save it and we approve, then say approved, then I'm going to save that. So if we go to our leave adjustment, we'll be able to have another entry. You see, it is now tracking all the entries. So every time you have another entry, it will be adding here. So at this point, we can actually track the number of leave days that an employee have taken since they entered into a company. And we can actually tell the number of days they have taken and the number of days they have been allocated since they joined. Then if we go to leave up, that is the employees table, we will be able to see the allocated leave days and the leave outstanding balances. So we can actually now come to our index. If we just go to leave, that is our employees, we can come here and we can say, we can add now maybe leave balances. So here we can say leave outstanding balance, and we can remove one of the fields. So here we can actually remove, we can put these as full name, and we can remove the last name and middle name. So if we do that, I'm going to have here as well full name. Then I'm going to remove last name and middle name. Then after email, I'm going now to add our leave outstanding balance. So I'll say leave outstanding balance. So this one we can actually call leave bar. We can call it leave balance. Let's just have it that way. So let's just launch the application and see how it looks like. So for this one now, we have our leave outstanding balances, and we have been able to see how we can track the leave balances going forward. So I'm going to do that. Then I can say here. So that is it. So if I log in, go to my employees list, you see I can be able to see the leave balances that we've just added. So every time I apply for this employee 01, so if I apply for that leave for that employee, I'll just do here James, I have 6, apply for the leave type, then I do that attachment. So if I save it, I should be able to, if I approve it, put in some text, approve, and if we go now to our employees list, we should be able to see we applied for 6 days, and you see this now. You see this is giving us an email address, so that is wrong. Let's check our layout, how it looks. So leave outstanding balances. So the leave outstanding balance should be after the leave, after the email, I mean. So if we do that, and I apply the changes, apply the changes, we should be okay. So let's just wait and see. So let me apply my changes. So if we go back to our application, you see now our full name, phone number, email address, and the leave balances. So that is it, guys, on how you can handle leave applications. Because you can see even when we go to audit logs, we'll be able to see now our table that we've just added. We have an entry created. So if I just go here, I should be able to see we have an audit log of leave adjustment entry, which was created, and we have the new entry. So if I just click to details, we'll be able to see the user ID, it was created, we have the leave adjustment entry, and this is the entry that was supplied. So I'm going to leave it there. So if you're following this channel and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing, like our video, and see you in our next series. Bye.